All right, it's 6 o'clock. This is a special board meeting of the Edgewood City School District. Ms. Bowers, will you please call the roll?
Mrs. Amy Ashcraft.
Present.
Mrs. Lori Barnes.
Present.
Mr. Kevin Fall.
Present.
Mr. Mark Messerschmidt.
Present.
Mr. John Thomas.
Present.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Mr. Fall, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Thomas. Ms. Bowers, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Kevin Fall.
Yes.
Mr. John Thomas.
Yes.
Mrs. Amy Ashcraft.
Yes.
Mrs. Lori Barnes.
Yes.
Mr. Mark Messerschmidt.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Next, we'll look for a motion to go into executive session to consider the appointment, employment dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee official. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Mr. Messerschmidt, is there a second?
Yes.
Mrs. Barnes. Mrs. Bowers, you call the roll, please?
Mr. Mark Messerschmidt.
Yes.
Mrs. Lori Barnes.
Yes.
Mrs. Amy Ashcraft.
Yes.
Mr. Kevin Fall.
Yes.
Mr. John Thomas.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. It is 6:01 p.m.
We are back in regular session. We have superintendent's items. Mr. Philpott.
The first item are the class of 2026 graduate candidates. I'd like to approve this group. There's a couple Google Sheets. There were some last minute add-ons there.
Is there a motion to approve the class of 2026 graduates as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Fall, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Messerschmidt. Ms. Bowers, you call the roll, please?
Mr. Kevin Fall.
Yes.
Mr. Mark Messerschmidt.
Yes.
Mrs. Amy Ashcraft.
Yes.
Mrs. Lori Barnes.
Yes.
Mr. John Thomas.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
So the next item are the pay to participate fees. I just
Is
played
this
a room.
mine?
We'd said a couple months ago as part of our master, kind of our plan for next year, we were gonna look at pay to participate fees. No commitment to change it, but at least to look at it. The question was, is our structure a barrier for student athletes, and would lowering it, appeal possibly to some maybe kids in other districts who would like to come to Edgewood, go to school here and participate in athletics. So as you can see on the left-hand side, you've got our current structure is $500 for the first sport, $500 for the second sport, and the third sport is free. So families that play kids play two or more sports, it's $1,000. Your fine arts, you've got the marching band and the choreolators are $500. Everything else is less. Some of them are free. It's a little bit confusing because if you're in band, but you do jazz or pep, then that's free if you're in band. If you're not in marching band, it's $150. If you go down to the first box, you'll see that in 22-23, when the pay to play at Edgewood was $50, we had, and this is just student athletes. This does not include fine arts. This does not include marching band choreolators, plays. This is just student athletes. I could probably get those numbers for you, but this is the numbers that Scott was able to get me. We had 928 student athletes in 22-23. In 23-24, that was the year that we bumped it up to $500, the current pay structure, minus a change, because at that time we didn't even reduce it for free or reduced. We dropped down to 725 student athletes, so you saw 200 less student athletes. Gradually, over the last 2 years, it's went back up. So last year it was 774, and this year it's projected, I'm assuming we're going to be right at 834. The big change there that we saw the increase was due to, was still $500 pay to play, first and second sport, third sport free, but we added the provision if you're on free or reduced, free would be free, and if you're on reduced lunch, your pay to play would be $300 free. So I got to assume that cost reduction is what caused those numbers to jump back up. So when I was making a recommendation that we look at it, I was just playing with numbers. My theory is if we lowered pay to play, we might increase participation. I don't know what the magic number is. So if you calculate that roughly 50% of our kids are on free or reduced lunch, so they're getting them free, I just took basically half the number of athletes. So approximately 400 athletes, again, paying the full $500 pay to play, you're going to collect $200,000. If you take that same number and you lower it to 450, you're going to raise 180. So to get back to the 200,000, you need 44 more athletes. Is that a reasonable expectation? Well, 44 more kids play sports if we lower it by $50. If you lower it by $100, it takes it down to 160. Would 100 more athletes, of course, over 3 seasons, participate in athletics if it was $400 instead of $500? And then I originally thrown out the number of 350. If pay to play was 350 with 400 athletes, you'd raise $140,000. You would require 171 more athletes to get back to that 200,000. That might be a reach. So, what I propose there, and again, I'm not asking you to vote for it. I'm just throwing this out for discussion to think about it. We revisit it in the future because we do need to set fees for next year. Is possibly lowering that $500 down to maybe a little more manageable number, perhaps $400 for first and second sport. And I even toyed with the idea of the third sport, instead of being free, $100. Because if you are a 3-sport athlete, it would still be $100 savings over the year for all 3 sports. So it would still be beneficial to families. Also lowering the marching band corps leaders. And then basically everything after that's $150 and get, it's kind of confusing. I know Scott struggles with if you're in corps leaders or your marching band and your jazz band, it's free, and just make it set 400 or 150 or whatever number you come up with. And then we would also, we would keep the free and reduced at 300. And then if you're paying the 150 and your reduced lunch, it would be 100. If it's free, it's still free. The hope is more kids will participate. More kids will participate, and you'll make up for your lost revenue and lower fees by increased participation. Again, kind of our theme is let's make Edgewood the best we can. And is pay to play a barrier? The numbers show that it is a little bit. Allowing kids on free and reduced lunch to come at a reduced rate or free quickly brought our numbers back up. Would another reduction to regular fees also result in jump in participation? Because that's the ultimate goal, increase participation. And part of our theme is education, enrollment, and engagement. I think this potentially can help our enrollment and certainly helps our engagement with our families. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I'm not asking for a vote or proposal. Just wanted to throw it out there, start the conversation, get your thoughts, and maybe at our next board meeting we can set fees for next year.
From 23 and 24 to 24, 25, when you had added the free and reduced, and it went from 725 to 774, what percentage of those additional athletes were free and reduced?
I don't know that number. This was all projected based on our approximately 50% of our students are on free and reduced.
About 50 are on free, okay.
Yeah, 50% of our students, so that's why I used the number.
50%?
Of our whole student body.
50% of the student body.
Is on free and reduced, but
Yeah.
we don't know what percentage are
Of
free and
student
reduced.
athletes. We do
Student
not
athletes
know.
or participants in these other extracurriculars.
I could probably deep dive into these numbers and get you that exact data before you have to vote on it. This is just a best guess scenario based on the 50% of our students are on free and reduced. So I took 50% of our athletes, assuming they were also on free and reduced. Could be different than that.
Because I mean, even youth sports or whatnot, cost quite a bit anymore. Even the select, $50 would go a long way. Just from zero type thing. Not sure if that would make or break those students' decisions to participate in those options or not. But the other thing I had mentioned before as an idea is we're always struggling to get volunteers. Is there a way with a extracurricular activity or a sport that you can volunteer for a booster activity to pay down your fee and registration. Because whenever we get more volunteerism, it seems like more money's coming into those activities that those other supporting organizations are doing. I know it may be difficult to track, but it was just an idea of something to look into.
But that's why we want to discuss it, put out ideas. I mean, not saying it's broken. You know, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But I just felt like when we were creating our master plan for next year, and we were trying to figure out ways to engage with the community, this just stuck with me as a possible idea to engage with the community. And again, but I also know Patty knows the finances behind this, and we're not even really putting a big dent in the total pay to play, the supplemental contracts. This doesn't carry the cost, the burden at all, so reducing it. But again, the theory is if you can find that sweet spot to lower it enough to increase participation to raise similar amount of revenue, then it's a win-win. Because you get more kids involved in sports and activities, and you know that's a perk. That helps our enrollment, it helps our engagement, it helps our education because kids are engaged with their school. So that's what I'm seeking here, is try to find that sweet spot.
So I remember we did the first round of cuts. Well, there's a couple things on these numbers. So you're showing student athletes from 22, 23, comparing that to student athletes 24, 25, and we've had a significant drop in enrollment. So
My mind went the same place. We lost 225 kids that year.
right, so we've not really comparing apples and apples there. And honestly, I think the numbers where they are right now are actually a little higher than what I thought they probably would have been with the $500 pay-to-play fee. So when we started our first round of cuts, and I know you remember this, Patty, because I was hitting you up every day asking for all those numbers. And I ran the numbers, and based on the numbers that Scott gave me and the numbers that Patty gave me, and I did this because a lot of people were saying there's no way it costs $500 for a kid to play football, baseball, basketball. So I ran the numbers, and I removed anything that was educational and separated it from things that were purely extracurricular. And I added up all the supplemental contracts, and I divided it by the number of students that had participated in sports that year before. And the number, it came out to just shy of about $1,200. So when I had people tell me there's no way it costs $500 for a kid to play basketball, I said, you're right, it costs $1,200. And people just couldn't believe that it was that expensive. And that number didn't take into consideration, you know, any of the transportation or anything. That was just purely supplementals. So I say all that to say, you know, we've put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into this, but I still personally believe that the pay-to-play fees are a barrier for a lot of families. And in the very beginning, when we started these cuts, there was a lot of discussion about potentially a $900 pay-to-play fee, which I absolutely, and you remember this, I said I will not vote. I will vote against athletics before extracurriculars before I vote for $900 because I think it separates the haves and the have-nots based along those lines. I had a real hard time with that. I personally think anything that we can do to get that number as low as possible helps in all the things that you had just discussed. And I actually, if I did my math right, and you know, the difference between 350 pay to play and 400 pay to play is less than $42,000 in a $44 million budget. I would ask to take a real hard look at trying to get that number that low and trying to figure out how we can make this more accessible, because I do think participation is higher than I would have guessed it would have been when we had these conversations years ago. And the possibility of what it could look like if we could eliminate that barrier really excites me. I mean, I think it would be awesome to have a smaller district than we had in 22 and 23 and have the same number of kids or more participating in extracurricular. And we did see a pretty significant increase when we made the third sport free. So I would ask you to take a look at those numbers, and if we think we can keep that kind of in that, you know, $40,000, $50,000 range, and I would say that would be where my head's at.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement right now about football. We got a new coach, and you know, nothing wrong with the last coach, but I just think there's excitement there. I think there's excitement about our new girls basketball coach. And boys basketball had a good season. Baseball's had unbelievable seasons. We've had great girls teams. So I just think there's a lot of excitement. So you know, I talked to a girl that hadn't been in the basketball program. She actually withdrew and is going to school in a charter school. She'll come back to Edgewood next year because she wants to play basketball her senior year. Like, it's a a choice, and that's the kind of stuff we need to happen. Get kids excited about things we got going on here, whether it's sports, whether it's academics, and if this is a barrier, we can lower it without making Patty too uncomfortable. That's what we're trying to do. Again, is find that sweet spot.
Yeah.
That is not, because you're right. My kids play travel sports, and AAU basketball, and I paid a lot more than these fees for that when my kids were in elementary school. So but I was fortunately able to do that and made that choice to do that. Not everybody does have that luxury, so it'd be nice to remove this barrier if we can.
Well, and going back to that number I threw out there, $40,000, $50,000. That's $40,000, $50,000 is not going to save us from a levy, and it's not going to put us in a levy to take your quote. I don't think that's the difference. But what I will say is, if you look, and I saw Sunday there was an article in the Journal News that Lakota is looking at closing 3 buildings. We've seen all the cuts that are being made in Hamilton. Lots on the line tomorrow for Fairfield City schools. 3 of the 10 schools around us are making some pretty, in Butler County, are making some pretty significant cuts. And whether we were lucky or whether we were good, I think we got ahead of a lot of this stuff years ago. And right now, when everybody else is backpedaling and trying to figure out how they're going to make ends meet, we're in a position where we can potentially do this. And who knows, maybe we'll pull some of those kids, some of those families to our district, and I think that kind of goes along with our strategy with all the other things that we're doing. So if we can figure out a way to make this work, I think we need to do it.
Do we know what Ross and Talawanda, what are their fees now?
I know that our neighboring districts don't have fees as high as ours currently, but I'll get those. And Scott, I don't think Scott's here's probably the baseball game. You probably know what the Ross and Talawanda.
Because they were way higher than us.
Way higher than us. I knew
than us.
Talawanda was. I'll get you that. We'll put together more details. I'll get that out, and we'll add it. We'll try to get that voted on sooner rather than later. Recommendation.
All right.
I think that's all I got.
All right. Now the moment you've all been waiting for. Curtis's resignation. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks. I worked myself out of a job.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody work as hard to get out of a job as you did with this.
I know. So, is there a motion to approve the resignation of Mr. Curtis Philpott as superintendent effective August 1st? It says August 1st.
July 31st.
And did I not refresh?
Resignation's effective July 31st. The start date on the other role is August 1st.
Oh, no, I'm reading the wrong line, sorry.
No, he left it like that.
No, it's his new position starting August 1st, but it's,
Got it.
okay. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong line. Okay, anyway, is there a motion to accept the letter of resignation of Curtis Philpott effective July 31st, 2026?
So moved.
Mr. Fall. Is there a second?
Second.
Mrs. Barnes. Ms. Bowers, you call the roll, please.
Mr. Kevin Fall.
Yes.
Mrs. Lori Barnes.
Yes.
Mrs. Amy Ashcraft.
Yes.
Mr. Mark Messerschmidt.
Yes.
Mr. John Thomas.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Just so everybody knows, I don't think we would do that normally that fast if we didn't have a plan in place, so.
You're
Definitely not wanting to get rid of you, but.
You read my letter. I appreciate the trust you guys put in me in the last board. It's an honor of my career to do this, and I can't thank you enough for the trust. And I feel good about our direction moving forward, and our plan with Jeff coming on and me being there to support him and continue to serve the district just in a different capacity. So I feel good about it. Thank you guys.
So
We
I
appreciate it.
do want to say something for people that are watching at home, because I actually saw something on Trenton Talk that there was a perception that we had created a new position for you, and this director of business ops job, this is bringing back a job that we had cut several years ago, and it was John's job. He retired out of it. We didn't backfill it, and I think now after 3 years of really not having anybody full-time in that position, I think we've realized just how much we actually needed that job. And, you know, the kind of the backstory, that was the job that we had posted. And Curtis started putting together resumes to present to the board for who he thought would be the right person for that job, and that's when we came across Jeff, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. And that's when you said you were willing to step down if we found the right person and take that position. So this is not a new position that you're moving into. This is a position that we've had before. We just didn't fill it for the last 3 years and trying to save costs for the district. But I could probably make a pretty good argument that we probably missed some opportunities with some facilities maintenance. It may have cost us more money than it saved us by not filling it. So I think this is absolutely something we need to look at bringing back, and you being willing to do what you did, very much appreciate it, because you came in as superintendent at a very difficult time. It was right in the middle of levies and cuts and rifts, and so we do appreciate what you did, what you came into, and do appreciate you willing to step into this, because it's good for the district long term.
All right. Next, is there a motion to approve the superintendent employment contract of Jeffrey C. Madden, city official, as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Thomas, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Messerschmidt. All right. Is there any discussion on this topic? Just kidding. Can you call the roll, please?
Mr. John Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Mark Messerschmidt?
Yes.
Mrs. Amy Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mrs. Lori Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Kevin Paul?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you want to say anything?
I'll still, just a few minutes if you're okay with that.
Would love to hear what you got to say.
Well, and your family's here, so.
Yeah, my
yeah.
family's here. I wanted to also recognize a couple of
Can
guests. Oh, I gotta
Sorry,
come up
camera's
this.
right here, yeah, you gotta like, come up on.
I don't want to get that close to the camera. I'll stand back this way. Further away, I look better. Now, I want to recognize a couple of guests who came down from Beaver Creek. Superintendent Paul Otten, Chief Security Officer Chris Williams, a long drive to see this moment. My father, mom, stepmom are here as well, and I will tell two Edgewood stories. First one was freshman year. I hid my grades from my dad all the way up until I was about ready to fail algebra, and I think he saw the sign on the old high school saying report cards are out, and he goes, "What's going on with that report card?" So my dad became a tutor and helped me pass algebra, and I wouldn't have graduated high school without him in that moment. And my mom's always been there. Any time I needed someone to just bounce things off of, just a great person to listen to my stories. I wouldn't be able to take this job if it wasn't for where my kids are. This is a sacrifice personally that they had to almost be prepared to, and they're at the age, they're just two great kids that they take care of their lives really with little guidance from dad sometimes. So to see where they are at their age is impressive. If they were like me, I would not be able to take this job. So I just want to say blessed to have them. I want to say thanks to Curtis Philpott just for his support 30 years ago to some extent on the basketball court. He saw me as a young 8th grader. He became our high school assistant principal. We were all excited. And for me to have maintained a relationship for almost 30 years with him, I've seen the success of his career. Just excited to continue to work with him. And I'll lastly thank the board. I owe a tremendous amount to this community. I had a conversation with my 2nd grade teacher on the way here and shared the news with her, Mrs. Keegan. I don't know if you guys know Denise Keegan. I wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for her in the 2nd grade. She had some very tough conversations with me as a young person, and just another one of those people that have made me who I am. So thank you to the board. I owe the community really everything, and I will do everything I can to serve the community in my fullest capacity. So thank you.
Great.
Congratulations.
I gotta sign now?
Sign it now.
Well,
We're locking it
leave.
in. We're locking it in.
Right in front of the signing there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Well, so you're not in blue, you're in green. So you gotta start wearing blue, right? Not Springboro blue,
Oh, yeah.
right? Edgewood blue. Alright. Your dad will have to hook you up with some swag. We can't have you walking around here with Panthers on. Alright. Our next item is our fiscal year 27 administrative and exempt compensation schedule. Is there a motion to approve that as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Messerschmidt, is there a second?
Second.
Mrs. Barnes. Ms. Bauer, you call the roll, please?
Mr. Mark Messerschmidt.
Yes.
Mrs. Lori Barnes. Yes. Mrs. Amy Ashcraft.
Yes.
Mr. Kevin Ball.
Yes.
And Mr. John Thomas.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Alright. Lastly, is there a motion to approve the administrator's contract for Curtis Philpott as Director of Business Operations?
So moved.
Mr. Fall, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Messerschmidt. Ms. Bauer, you call the roll, please?
Mr. Kevin Ball.
Yes.
Mr. Mark Messerschmidt.
Yes.
Mrs. Amy Ashcraft.
Yes.
Mrs. Lori Barnes.
Yes.
Mr. John Thomas.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Alright, at this time, we will look for a motion to adjourn this meeting. Nobody wants to go home? Mr. Messerschmidt, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Fall. Ms. Bauer, you call the roll, please?
Mr. Mark Messerschmidt.
Yes.
Mr. Kevin Ball.
Yes.
Mrs. Amy Ashcraft.
Yes.
Mrs. Lori Barnes.
Yes.
Mr. John Thomas.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. It is 7:10 p.m.